I'm Tracy Walker, and today I'm going to be reading from my book, The Cards I Was Dealt That Transformed My Life. And today's chapter will be Chapter 6, Hard Knock Lessons. Our move to Sydney was for business opportunity that ultimately didn't come off as my boyfriend expected. In fact, not only did it not come off, but it was a complete fizzer. Naturally, I assumed we'd go back to Brisbane. But no, he didn't want to. The people who had offered him the original partnership had asked him to do labouring on their property. He was keen to give it a go, and I just went along with it. No voice. He didn't ask what I thought anyway. Then he met this woman at the local shop. One thing led to another. He had it all worked out. When this woman called him, the young uni students on the level below us would come and fetch him. He wasn't exactly discreet because the property owners became aware of what was really going on. We've told him to come clean with you, they said. He didn't. I was so naive. I had no idea what was going on. Or maybe I knew, but I didn't want to accept it. This whole time, I was just playing along, being a dutiful partner. I worked, I did the cooking and the cleaning. My moment of courage came when I found out I was pregnant and decided I wanted to go back home. I'm going back home to Brisbane, I said, with or without you. It was an ultimatum, though. I'm not sure what I'd have done if he'd said no. He decided to go back to Brisbane with me. On the day we left Sydney, one of our young neighbours pulled me aside. He doesn't deserve you, she said. I shrugged. I had no self-respect. It was totally unthinkable to say the words no. I deserve better. I accepted his behaviour as my lot and truly believed I was lucky to have him. Even after we got back to Brisbane, he wouldn't let this woman in Sydney go. I sat there listening to his intimate conversations with this woman. All I wanted was to be loved and accepted by this man, and I was willing to put myself in degrading situations to achieve it. Eventually, she ended it. Not that he came back to me. He'd gotten a taste for affairs and just went looking for the next one. I couldn't let go. I loved him. And what was I going to do if I left? Go back to my dysfunctional family? That wasn't an option for me. So I stayed and did the best I could with what I had. I did what was expected of me, no matter how bad it got. This was what my mother did. I just continued to do what I'd always done and got what I always got. The same. I wasn't taught to respect myself, so how could I put respect into my life? You only know what you know, good or bad. Then his mother weighed in on the situation. You have to get married, she said. Perhaps it was because she knew about the affairs, but I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was all about the image. It wouldn't do to have a child out of wedlock. His mother arranged the meeting with the minister. I got the impression he felt we shouldn't get married. But it was expected, and I didn't have the confidence or the education to say I could do this on my own. My husband-to-be loved his children, but he didn't love me, and I knew that. What attracted him to me at first was my need in his eyes to be saved. That's the way he operated. He wanted to be a saviour. The first affair he had with a woman who was engaged but not happily in the relationship. He felt he could save her. He only decided to come back to me because I was pregnant with his child. He didn't have a father around when he was growing up, and he didn't want his child to not know him. That's nice, but when you're in a loveless marriage, what are you teaching your children? Disrespect? We'd be teaching our future children that disrespect was normal. He didn't respect me and I didn't respect myself. That's what our children would see. Unfortunately, we didn't realise that. Marriage was a good option for me because I truly believed things would be better when we were a married couple. They weren't. He continued to treat me with total disregard and disrespect, and in fact, his behaviour escalated both physically and emotionally. I continued to believe in him. I continued to love him. This was my lot, and I expected nothing else. However, as time went on, loving him and supporting him became increasingly difficult. We didn't have a relationship, not in the true sense of what a relationship should be. It was all about my comfort zone and my normal. I had the baby after we were married, a little girl. He doted on her, but not on me. Still, I stayed, and I became pregnant again. My mother stayed with my father, so of course I must stay and tolerate the unacceptable, because that is what loving wives do. He loved his daughter and he would love her, our new baby. What right did I have to take that away from him? Life went on. Then the accident happened. I fought for him. For 3 months I fought. Why? It was expected. I was his wife. He was the father of my children. Besides, what sort of person would ditch their partner under these circumstances? In hindsight, though, the reason was deeper. Those learned behaviours from my upbringing and what I'd watched and heard in my home with my own parents, it all set the course for this situation and others that followed. You can't change what you don't know. If I had that time again, though, I'd know. He didn't deserve me. At some point in those terrible months, something clicked. Maybe it started with the driving licence. Whatever it was, I thought I was ready to make changes and alter my journey to move towards becoming someone totally different to what I was born into. Yes, it was for my children. Ultimately, though, it was for me. And on reflection, I did follow in the footsteps of my mother. And I didn't even realise it back then. Until you start to wake up and see what's truly happening. And those imprints from your childhood, nothing changes. You might deviate a little, but those ingrained wounds lay there dormant for years and years. And I suppose I repeated it because the fear in me was greater than wanting to change for something more. Fear controlled my choices. I suppose the question is, what's now? If you start to open your mind to seeing what has kept you on the same path and what's stopping you from changing the channel of your thinking, of your imprints? The answer is you. Until I made a decision that I wanted to change my outcomes for something better than what my background taught me, I was going to stay on that merry-go-round, and there's not going to be a way off until you choose. You hold the power